Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about is sort of, again, with the accountability. I wanted to talk about all of the bad things that I've been doing. And I really don't want to talk about this because it's embarrassing and I'm really, kind of pissed at myself. But again, I learned from it, and since then I've definitely changed my ways. And so if this can just serve as like a learning experience, and anyone who's watching who's pre-op could understand what it's like, maybe, I could help someone out or whatever. So it's hard to talk about. I had a really rough time, like I said before, with the protein and the vitamins. And even when I got them, I still was not taking them the way that I should, especially with the protein. And I gained, like I said, 6 pounds a couple weeks ago, and it was awful. But since then, when I came home, my mom sort of talked to me and said, this has been a really traumatic experience, and it's hard for anyone to have the surgery, let alone someone who's as busy as you are. And, I guess I wouldn't allow myself to go there and to accept any sort of, I don't want to call it an excuse, but, I felt like it was all my fault. It was my irresponsibility. It was my failure. And so for my mom to step in and say, you know what, no, it's not a failure. You're only a month post-op. You're only 20 years old. You're only this, you're only that. You learn from it and just don't do it again. And so I guess to hear that essentially it wasn't that detrimental as I was thinking it was, it helped me, get back on the horse and fix everything. So I love my mom so much. She's like the biggest support that I have, and I couldn't do this without her, because she just, whenever I'm having a crazy day or whatever, I call her, and when I'm not talking to you guys, she really helps me out. So it's great to have someone like that. I sat down and I wrote out a schedule for myself. I don't, everyone's obviously different. I don't know what others are doing to make sure that they're sticking to a schedule, but for me, I'm a list person, as you can tell, and I'm also like a schedule person. If I don't write something down, sometimes I'll totally forget about it. So I sat down with my mom and I made this comprehensive, ridiculous, like, hold my hand all the way through the day kind of list. To when I wake up, I take these vitamins, wait 30 minutes, take my protein, wait this, and then factor in my meals and sleep and all that stuff. And it sounds ridiculous, but after a couple days I memorized it, and now it's working wonderfully. And like I said, I gained like 6 or 7 pounds, and since then I've lost all of it and then some, for a total of about 22 pounds. So for those of you who are pre-op or whatever, it really matters. If you're ever wondering to yourself, does it really matter if I skip my multivitamin, or does it really matter if I only take 20 grams of protein instead of 60 or 90? Yes, it matters. Your body needs that, and since you're only getting 1,000 calories a day or whatever you're getting, your body really needs those vitamins and the protein to stay healthy, because it's just, I can't stress it enough. So I learned that the hard way, which was I wore myself ragged those first couple of weeks, and I was really down on myself, and my energy was really down, and I felt blah. I felt like not right. And so for me to just sit down and figure it out and get back on the horse and figure it out, now I feel 1,000 times better, and the weight is just falling off of me now. So it really, that's the biggest thing. You have to stick with your protein, and you have to stick with your vitamins, and then incorporate exercise. But the other thing that I am really ashamed about, and this is the big one, is I started stretching the limits as to what I was able to eat. And I was eating things that I really wasn't supposed to be eating at that stage. So by the time I got to the stage 2, I was so excited, because just drinking broth all the time and Crystal Light and all these things was just awful. So to get to the second stage was a miracle, because I can drink milk and have cream of wheat and pudding and stuff. So I kind of went off the deep end again, just because I was so excited. And I started eating things like whole wheat crackers and cottage cheese and just a couple other things that were not on the list for this stage. And it was, that was really dangerous. It was stupid. And like I said, I'm really embarrassed about it, to think that, oh yeah, it won't affect me, because even though I wasn't feeling sick or I wasn't getting hurt from it, like I could totally damage my pouch. If little granules of the crackers get stuck in some place, it could cause infection. It could, you know, do a million things. And it was just really irresponsible of me, and it's so embarrassing to admit it, but you know, I definitely learned my lesson, and I've been sticking very strictly to my stage, and I'm actually about to enter stage 3, which is puree, mashed potatoes, and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like I won't even need to start cheating or whatever you call it. It was just that I was stress eating, and that was the other thing that I was going to talk about, is grazing. All you guys have probably heard of it. It's where instead of eating large meals or large quantities like people did pre-op, you eat a little bit throughout the day. And that's really dangerous, because while yes, you're not going to stretch out your pouch, you're getting in a lot of calories, and you can gain weight that way. So grazing is like a big deal. And I did it for a couple of days, I'll admit, and once I recognized what I was doing, it scared me and I stopped. So but that's another thing you have to really look out for. And I would say, if you catch yourself doing it, just nip it in the butt, because it could become a problem, especially if you're in those high stressful situations, like staying up late studying for a test, or watching your kids, or whatever the high stress moments. You're going to want to go and eat a couple bites of something, but if you do that enough, you're going to make yourself gain weight. So it's really, something we should all watch out for. And right now I'm not having problems with it. What I do now is, instead of grabbing like whatever I was grabbing before, I'm just gonna grab water now, or Crystal Light, because you want to make sure that you keep your water intake. So sort of replace your bad habit with a good habit, and you should fix it. So hopefully. So that's about it. I feel like I've been talking forever. I probably forgot a couple things, but I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna try to update again really soon, and I'm really sorry for how hectic everything is. And I just want to say thanks again for all the support, all the comments, and if you ever need anything or want anything, send me a message, and I love talking to you guys. So okay, talk to you later. Bye.